welcome to the Taco Cast. I'm Crystal,
I'm Will.
and you're the audience. And today we have a special guest. We are joined by Ida Boyd of the Friendship Kitchen in Benton City, and Ida is here to tell us a little bit about her organization, how she got started, and things that you can do if you'd like to do something similar. Ida, you have the floor.
Hey guys, thank you. And Friendship Kitchen started 2 years ago this month. We decided to throw a community barbecue, figured what the heck, let's get more social interaction between people. Back when we were kids and everybody used to have giant barbecues at the park and the playground and everybody came. It didn't matter, strange kids wandered up and wanted to know if they could have some corn on the cob or watermelon, and we just handed it out. Well, nobody does that anymore, so we figured what the heck. We did it, and while we were doing it, we had several people that came up that were so grateful, and they told us they didn't have food for the weekend. We had an older gentleman tell us that he had his granddaughter for the weekend, and he didn't know how he was going to feed her for the weekend because he was on Social Security living in a little RV, and his granddaughter had gotten dropped off for the weekend, and he didn't have the heart to tell his family he didn't have any food. So, of course, it broke all of our hearts. So we packed up a bunch of extra food. We sent up, extra corn dogs, extra hot dogs and hamburgers, tons of sides. And we're like, here, take it home. And we started talking about it. And we talked to a couple of friends. And we realized that there was a need that people weren't discussing. People weren't talking about all of the seniors, the vets, the disabled people. Our town is loaded with trailer parks, with RV parks, and they're people living on the minimum supplemental security, social security, disability, their VA, and by the time they pay their lot rent and they get whatever, pay for propane, fill their propane tanks, put gas in their car, they have no money. And being out here in Benton City, we don't have all of the extras. Food bank is only open 2 days a week. It's only open for 2 hours at a time. If you have
a really narrow window.
Yeah, and if you have a job, you can't blow off your job just to squeeze that 2 hours in at the food bank. So we decided to talk to the city and talk to some different people, and they've been letting us use the community center. And once a week we would go up there. We would make sure there was food. We hadn't been able to purchase the permits at first for us to serve fresh hot food. So we supply stuff like cup of noodles, microwave mac and cheese, Powerade, energy bars. We always have hot coffee, instant soups, things that they can make so they have something to eat. We keep movies playing for the kids. And as we first started it, we realized a lot of these people, they started coming to us asking if we had clothing. They were showing up with dirty, holey clothes. The kids were showing up wearing clothes that didn't fit anymore. So we started going through our clothes, and we started talking to a couple of different people, and we started bringing in a little bit of clothes, and talking to people. And next thing you know, a little bit of clothes turned into a 12 by 12 storage shed that is filled from top to bottom. The snack foods, my Suburban is now filled with totes that have got microwave popcorn, macaroni and cheese, hot cocoa, all the stuff for coffee, creamer, sugar, salt, pepper, hot sauce, you name it, it's all in there. And then this happened with the COVID-19, and now everybody's stuck at home, and the families have the same amount of food stamps that they had before, but now the kids are home for 2 extra meals a day, 5 extra days a week, and they can't afford it. So we have food boxes that we give people. I think my daughter, Nikki, was ready to kill me when we bought 2 full cases of macaroni and cheese just to add to our food bank pantry. She frequently gets upset because I say, okay, let's go to the dollar store and buy $50 worth of little prizes for the kids because we try to do something fun. And $200 later, she's telling me that I'm in trouble. But, it happens. And she turns around and she says, oh, Mom, don't forget, we need to go to the store and we got to pick up a case of water and we're low on this. And next thing you know, she spent $200. So, But when this went down, the kids can't even socialize. They can't come play at the park anymore. We can't use a community center. So we collaborated with Mama's Diner here in Benton City, and now we're providing meals on the weekends. Each kid that comes to the window, they get a sack lunch that it's not just lunch, it's extra granola bars, fruit snacks, raisins, juice boxes, bottled water, and another bag that has food for the next day, some fresh fruit, instant oatmeals, granola bars, yogurt bars, whatever we can put in. We've had many locals that have donated cases of water or bags of chips, stuff like that for us. But every weekend we're putting that out, as well as putting out the word to anybody. If you need something, let us know. We've tried keeping a small stock of toilet paper, hand sanitizer, wet wipes, some of the stuff that everybody is having such a hard time finding. There's only one grocery store in Benton City, and half the people here can't go anywhere but that one grocery store because they have no transportation. The bus only runs every 2 hours in Benton City. There's no bus on the weekends. Like, I think it's 3 times now on Saturdays it'll run, but no buses on Sunday. So their options are very limited, unlike being in the city where there's gas stations, grocery stores, convenience stores, big lots, Rite Aid, all that stuff. It's everywhere. Out here we got the one market. So we try to offer what we can. We have a lot of locals that keep donating farm fresh eggs. So we usually have got canned foods and farm fresh eggs all summer long. Every weekend we do a car wash. Every time something happens in the community, Renaissance Fair, year and a half ago, wonderful volunteer was killed at the Renaissance Fair. Within 2 weeks, we had a spaghetti feed and a silent auction scheduled for her to help her family because she left behind a husband and 2 kids. We did a spaghetti feed for a little boy that 2 days after Easter last year found out how he had leukemia. And the family just couldn't afford, they couldn't pay the gas to drive back and forth from Seattle and to work. So we just have a collection of people in our community that, as time is built, the list of people has built. That people will be like, hey, you know what, next silent auction, let me know. I've already got 5 businesses that want to donate baskets or gift cards. Other people are like, hey, I build stuff with horseshoes, or I weave bracelets, or I make incense and candles. And they're all like, they have quickly jumped on the bandwagon to help anytime we put out the word and we say, hey, there's a family in need. And some stuff is really stupid. It's really little. A couple weeks ago, a mom called out and was like, look, I'm really sorry. I hate to ask. My little boy turns 4 in 2 days. I can't go to the store to buy him a cake. I'm in a HUD house. My oven broke, and it's not an essential right this minute for me to get it fixed by a HUD. So I can't bake him a cake. I don't have a car.
Having a functioning oven isn't considered essential?
Well, over having running water and electricity.
I suppose that's true.
Right in the middle of everything getting shut down. They're still trying to figure everything out. And she was like, I didn't get a chance to go to the store. Just having a cake for him would make him so happy. So, like, I always buy stuff when, we love Walmart. Walmart clearance. The day after Christmas, I am in that clearance aisle. I'm checking out those stacks of $20 gifts that are now $2.
I feel you.
So we had some stuff like that. When I put up the post on our page, one of our followers instantly brought out a really awesome racetrack set with race cars. Brianna, my granddaughter, automatically donated some really cute Winnie the Pooh books for this little boy. We got a whole basket together. We got him a cake. Mama's Diner donated a large pepperoni pizza to feed the whole family for dinner. And the Benton City Fire Department did a drive-by, honking horns and waving and we had "Happy Birthday, Matthias" written on the side of my Suburban, and we all paused and waved and honked, and the little boy about lost himself. He was so excited about it until the fire department turned on the alarm, and he about crapped himself. But the mom said it was the best birthday he ever had, and it didn't take much. It didn't cost us anything out of pocket. Nobody put anything out of pocket. It was just stuff everybody had around. We were able to put it together and take something that would have been probably the most depressing day of his life and turn it into something that he'll never forget.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
I still have to scrub all the stuff off my Suburban.
Would you say that it was difficult to get involved to start the Friendship Kitchen, or would you say that you had a fair amount of support from the city and from the community?
We didn't even really plan to start Friendship Kitchen. It was more of, well, what about starting a potluck? Could we talk to the city about having a weekly potluck or something? And the next thing we know, they're like, well, you're going to be a nonprofit, so we're not going to charge you the daily rental fee. You just have to pay the cleaning deposit. Our mayor in Benton City, right off the bat, she donated the first $100 towards helping us out and getting us going.
Wow, that's really cool.
Multiple people have jumped on and automatically started helping and donating their time. We have several people that they come every single time we have something. And whether it's they're collecting money at the door or donations, or they're helping in the kitchen, or they're resorting and folding clothes in the clothing bank, they all just come and do something. And some of the people have now become friends. It started out as, a couple moms that were using it.
You're being photobombed there in the background.
Young lady, go sit down. Some of the moms have went from, Sunday is my escape day. I leave my children home with my husband so I could come check out clothes and find shoes that'll fit my kids, to next thing you know, they're becoming friends with the other moms. And now the moms are getting together and having play dates with the kids. And the kids recognize us. They see us in town and they run up excited to give us a hug and say hi and tell us that they can't wait for Friendship Kitchen to be back so that they can, do the crafts. Or the gingerbread houses. That was the most Brianna, stop it. That was the most extreme thing that we did. We decided we were going to have a gingerbread house making contest with the kids and break them up into categories. We figured we would have, a couple dozen kids, no problem. Oh, no. Yeah, 4 or 5 dozen kids ended up showing up.
Wow.
That's a lot of kids. Ooh,
yeah,
wow.
We had to run to the store and buy them. We ran out of frosting. We ran out of graham crackers and candies. It was crazy. But we just gave them out dollar store prizes, the gigantic candy canes and what are those? The cheapo Barbies and stuff. We're now a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and the Benton City Chamber of Commerce has helped us big time. They've had us cook for them every time we've had an event. We did breakfast and lunch at Benton City Days, and then we donated 10% of all the funds we raised to the Pitbull Pen to help them out. We constantly try, every time we get a big amount of funds, we try doing something for somebody in the community. Sadly, last month, a very good volunteer was killed.
Sorry.
And we can't do anything for her. We can't have a spaghetti fee. We can't have a car wash. We can't have a silent auction because all this is going down. So all we can do is we're posting her GoFundMe. We're promoting it. We're talking to people and trying to help her family out as we can. And this summer, when everything gets lifted, we are going to have a gigantic spaghetti feast or barbecue or something to help her 5 kids out. But it doesn't really take anything from anybody except for time. Putting the word out. Talking to your friends. Do you have an older neighbor that loves to sew but doesn't have material? but would love to help out with stuff. There's lots of people willing to, oh, you know what? I've got boxes and boxes of material in my closet that's been there for years. I don't know what the hell to do with it, and I don't want to just throw it away. So word of mouth through everybody. Next thing you know, now those materials are going over to this person who is now making stuff, or this person who's taking the yarn and making hats and gloves, because we donate hats and gloves every year to the schools. We collaborated with the Benton City Podcaster, and we did school backpacks this year. We put together backpacks with school supplies, hand sanitizers, all the basic stuff, and we just gave it all away to kids. And any kid that came to us, you didn't have to prove you were in need, because you know what? You could be making $5,000 a month, no problem, and still barely pay your bills because you got 5 kids and you can't afford the child care for 5 kids. So wife has to stay home, and you can't afford all the car payments and the mortgage payment. And by the time you're done, everything's barely paid. But if you go to the food bank, they're going to give you dirty looks. I don't expect you to show me how much money you make or prove how much need you have, because I don't know your situation, and it's not my business.
That's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you. So, say somebody wanted to start something along the lines of Friendship Kitchen. Where would you advise them to start? What's point A?
First off, we would probably contact the city hall at whatever city or town or province, whatever you live in. Contact them and find out if there is something like a community outreach program already in the area. If there is one, then reach out to them and see what you can do to help them. Because if it's already set up, they just may need more volunteers. They may need more helpers. If there is not, then reach out to some of the different churches. A lot of towns have got like a religious coalition. It's just a group of different pastors, ministers, whatever, that they all try to keep an eye out on community service stuff and make sure that everybody has stuff. And if you go talk to them, a lot of times they can tell you what's needed. They can say, hey, you know what? We've got a clothing bank, but we have nobody to run it or to help out. Or somebody else will say, well, we've got a full food pantry, but we have nobody to organize it or distribute it. And, you know, you just step up and talk to them. You can also reach out to the schools. A lot of the schools nowadays are needing donations for food pantries, where the schools have a closet that the kids that need help, they can go to a teacher and say, you know, look, I don't know if I'm going to have food this weekend. And the teacher will take them to the closet and stock them up with food for the weekend. You know, little extras. You can also reach out if you know farmers, gardeners, anybody, and say, hey, if you have any extra when it comes time to harvest, let us know and we will help distribute it to families in need. And then turn around and contact all the churches and say, do you have families that could use something? Yeah, that's just how we started. And we have people that they'll call me up and be like, hey, I'm at the grocery store right now and I just found hams for $5 a piece. Are you going to be doing something soon? Or do you have freezer space for it? Right now, freezer space is a problem for us. And apparently the 4-H group, somebody bought a ticket to the 4-H raffle and put Friendship Kitchen down as the name.
Oh, that was awesome.
So we won half of a pig that I now have to find a freezer for.
That's
that's a lot.
that was cool that they thought of you. So if somebody has transportation barriers, or somebody who's homebound or something like that, do you have any tips for them, for somebody who maybe has mobility issues or just has a really difficult time getting out, ways that they can help support community outreach?
There is actually a lot of seniors out there that they can still drive. They may have mobility issues, but they are more than happy to go give a senior that doesn't have transportation a ride. When I first had my wreck and we had no car, I cannot tell you how many people, like especially seniors in the community, that weren't working and they're bored sitting at home, And as soon as I was like, yeah, I have a doctor's appointment, or I really need to find a way to get to the store, in the community's Buy Nothing page, instantly I'd be like hit up with people going, girl, why didn't you just text me? Or, hey, just call. You don't even have to post online. And I would get a ride. Most of them wouldn't even get out of the car. They'd just run me up to the store, run me to the doctor or whatever. And they were just grateful to get out of the house because they're bored just sitting home and they can't afford to find something to do, to go to the movies, to go do whatever. And I actually got messaged by a woman today that is interested in starting a one-on-one neighbor program here in Benton City. So you basically would have a community buddy. So if you needed a ride to a doctor's appointment, or you wanted to go to a lunch but you don't want to go by yourself, or need help with laundry or to go to the laundromat, it gives them some social interaction. So now this is a new door that I'm going to have to open because it's a great idea. I just found out about it today when the woman was asking me about it, if we had one here, and I'm like, no, but that's actually a really good idea. Especially nowadays with all these kids being stuck at home and parents going insane and they can't get to the store. I don't mind going to the store. I've gone to the store several times. We have a member in town that she gets stuck home alone with the 3 kids. And yeah, she could pack all 3 kids that are like under 4 into the car to drive to the store to go get that gallon of milk, that 1 gallon of milk with 3 toddlers. Or she could just reach out and be like, hey, anybody grab me a gallon of milk when they're at the store? We've taken her milk. We've taken her one day just as a joke. She's like, hey, if anybody wants to grab me some Doritos, and we did. Nikki instantly was like, yep, tell her I got her Doritos. We swung it by and dropped it off at her house. She will call completely out of the blue and be like, hey, your family eats Alfredo sauce, right? I was like, yeah. She's like, okay, I just made a big batch. I'm going to bring you some. She brought over a gallon jug, like a gallon Ziploc bag full of homemade Alfredo sauce.
Nice.
Just as I don't want to store it in my fridge. I don't think I'm going to eat it all, so I'm going to give it away. Last winter, Nikki made a huge batch of turkey and dumplings and then jarred up quart-sized jars and posted online, just giving it free to anybody because hot turkey and dumplings soup, a lot of people, they can't take the time to cook that much, especially when they live in little RVs or little apartments. Or why cook a whole turkey when you're a single person?
Yeah, that's true. So would you say, since you've started Friendship Kitchen, would you say that it's had a positive impact on the community, maybe strengthened community bonds, brought people together?
It has definitely done that. They now know me like first name and like by face, like anywhere I go in town. People pause me everywhere I go and they're like, hey, I heard about this one family. Is there any way you can throw together a food box? And I'll just go straight home and we'll put together a food box, and then they'll come to my house like an hour later. They'll pick it up and deliver it. There's no fuss, no muss. The person doesn't even have to reach out and ask for help. So more people are keeping an eye out on each other and noticing.
Excellent. Excellent. It's really good. Well, thank you for joining us today, Ida. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk to us about Friendship Kitchen and help our viewers who might be interested in setting something like that up for themselves. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for having us and putting out the word. The more people that get helped, the more people are going to reach out and help others, and the fewer people are going to be sitting at home suffering.
True.
Very much. All right.